What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Monday. It's another charity shop pickups video. Now in this one I've actually took footage of the charity shop I went into. Not much, but you know, maybe it's a half shop vlog in this video, but we'll see. But I've got a stack of DVDs here. And yeah, my local Sense charity had a 1 day only 4 for £1 deal on their DVDs. They had some Blu-rays as well, but nothing that I picked up, just so you know. Let's get to the footage. So they had tons of DVDs in this charity shop. So far there was nothing on the shelves that I could really see. On there, The Grey there, that's a pretty decent film, but I would want it on Blu-ray. Nothing here. Yeah, there's just the usual shit you see these days. There's a cool double pack there of True Grit, and I forgot what the other film was, but you know, I do apologise for my shit camera footage, but I was trying to be a bit quick about it because I didn't want to interrupt anything. In the store, you got The Departed there. Alice in Wonderland Blu-ray was pretty cool, but I didn't pick it up. Gone in 60 Seconds is a bit of a guilty pleasure, if I believed in guilty pleasures. Nicolas Cage movie. It's not a bad one. The Raid 2, great action film. PS4 games and Blu-rays there. PS2 games. A lot of sports games and stuff. There's nothing there that I would just immediately pick out. You got The Bourne Identity on Blu-ray. I didn't end up picking that up, unfortunately. Sherlock Holmes on Blu-ray. Battleship. I almost bought that Battleship, but I decided not to because it could be utter shit. Breaking Bad box set. I love that show. What a great show Breaking Bad is. So as you can see in that footage, there was nothing particularly there that I really wanted. There was nothing really there that I was planning to get. I was about to walk out of the shop. But the person there said that we've got loads more Outback. We're trying to get rid of it. That's why it's 4 for £1 on DVDs. They were trying to get rid of their stock. It was pretty much overflowing with stuff. Their shelves were full up. They didn't have no room for anything else. They brought out a bunch of boxes full of DVDs as well for me to look into. And yeah, I found a bunch of stuff. Particular actor that I generally like, especially the earlier stuff. Later stuff is a bit of an oddball kind of weirdness that I'm actually looking forward to checking out. They're probably really bad, but I'm looking forward to checking out. But before we get to that, let's get to some of the other stuff that I picked up. So first up, I picked up a DVD version of Return of the Living Dead 3. Now I've got part 1 on Blu-ray and I've got part 2 on DVD, which I've not watched yet. So I thought I'll add this to the collection, and yeah, I can get around to watching Return of the Living Dead Part 3. If you don't know, Return of the Living Dead, the original, is my favourite zombie film of all time. So I'm looking forward to checking out Part 2 and 3. So it's good to add Part 3 to the collection. Carrying on the horror theme, I picked up the Vimco release of The Incredible Melting Man. This is a film that Bryn of Horror Hands really has sold me to. In one of his videos he spoke about melting effects in horror films, and this is one of those movies he mentioned. It sounds really entertaining, so I'm really happy to pick this DVD copy up for basically nothing, pretty much, to check it out. And I know there's an Arrow Blu-ray release, which I will be upgrading this if I like it. But yeah, it's great to pick up this movie. I remember when Vipco were the big kind of video nasty kind of releasing things uncut for the first time in the UK on DVD, so I'm really looking forward to checking out what this version is like. But yeah, that's The Incredible Melting Man. Next up is a film that it kind of coincides with my subscriber mail that I received from Phil Baker a couple of weeks ago. He sent me a film called The Return of Swamp Thing, a film that I have never seen. I know it's based on a DC character, and there's obviously a recent TV show that didn't really was ill-fated, but that was a sequel to I think it's an 80s film called Swamp Thing, and that's what I got. I got the first one, so this kind of coincides with that subscriber mail. So Phil sent me Return of the Swamp Thing, and I've just picked up Swamp Thing. I watched a review from a really great channel that I love called Cody Leach. He did a review of this fairly recently. He's doing a Wes Craven series at the moment. Yeah, he didn't like this film that much, but you know, to complete the Swamp Thing 1 and 2, I thought I'd get the original. It looks ridiculous. It kind of gives me Toxic Avenger vibes, especially from Cody Leach's review. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. It looks silly. It looks dumb. It might be right up my street, or it could be absolute trash. Who knows? But yeah, I thought I'd add it to the collection. Next up, did have this movie before, but I got rid of it to make space. But as this is a nice double box set, I think the DVD for this film is probably the best way to actually watch this movie, because the way it's shot, it didn't lend itself to a very good Blu-ray transfer, and that is 28 Days Later. This is the box set that comes with the sequel, 28 Weeks Later. I watched 28 Days Later fairly recently with Sophie. I really enjoyed the rewatch. I still think it's a great movie.
Before you ask, no, it's not a zombie film. It's an infection movie, because these are not zombies. By definition, a zombie is a dead person that has come to life that wants to eat your flesh. They are not zombies in this movie. They're infected. I don't give a fuck what you say.
But yeah, on the rewatch, this is a great movie. I think it's wonderful. So surreal to see London empty. Those scenes, yeah, with empty, you know, London, Trafalgar Square and stuff like that. Really eerie. Seeing the motorways empty is absolutely just... You don't see it, do you? It's one of those things you don't see. But 20 Days Later is fantastic. I thought I'd grab the double pack. I need to give 28 Weeks Later a rewatch, because I've not seen it in some time, and I remember when I watched it originally, I didn't like it that much compared to the first movie. But I've heard that it's getting some of a resurgence of a fan base 28 Weeks Later. So hopefully it's something I can get back into and actually appreciate now. So yeah, that's 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. Now we get to the actor that has a somewhat decent early career and then goes into absolute lunacy in his later life. For example, there's a movie where he literally is sitting down for the whole movie and barely moves. I can't tell what that film's called, I don't know, but I know it exists. We are talking about Steven Seagal. You may know this guy. He was in Under Siege, the Die Hard movie on a boat. He was in Under Siege 2, Die Hard movie on a train. He was in Exit Wounds, a movie with DMX, which was so-so. But yeah, I found a stack of his movies in this charity shop, and it's funny because he's an actor that I've kind of become fascinated with. He had a kind of promising career early on as this action star, and he's kind of plummeted to this weird kind of bargain bin actor that kind of signs on for, you know, to any old shit for a paycheck, and kind of has this weird budding romance with the Russian world leader. Steven Seagal is a very odd character, but I find him fascinating for all the wrong reasons. So I thought I'd buy a bunch of his films and we can see how bad they get. But anyway, there's some good ones here that I generally like, but a lot of these I've not seen. A lot of these are just going to be absolute utter shit. I can see it now. And going by these titles, you know they're going to suck. Starting off, we have Born to Raise Hell. Doubtful. Doubtful. This Steven Seagal, what is this? 2010 Seagal? Doubtful, guys. But that is Born to Raise Hell. These get even worse. This film is called The Patriot. No, not a fairly decent Mel Gibson movie that we all know about. No, this is Steven Seagal, The Patriot. I know nothing about this film. When did it come out? It's not telling me. But yeah, Steven Seagal, The Patriot, is apparently...
A plague strikes the heart of a remote western town. Wes McLaren has to find a cure.
Something like that. I don't know. It sounds weird. It's probably going to be pretty bad, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, it's The Patriot. Oh yeah, this era is the best era in terms of just how bad these films look. So this is the time, 2015, because it's fairly recent. This one is when he had that awful goatee. This is called The Asian Connection, or Asian Connection. What's it called? The Beast in the East. I doubt it, guys. But yeah, Asian Connection. Fat Steven Seagal with the awful goatee. Yeah, I know this is going to be a hoot and a holler. Next up, we have a sealed copy of Lethal Justice. I don't know about you guys, but I fail to believe there's anything lethal about Steven Seagal these days. When was this one made? Okay, this is a 2010 film. I don't think there's anything lethal about 2010 Seagal. Next up, we have the cover for this. Steven Seagal just he looks fake. He looks like he's been done up, you know, on Photoshop. This film is called Black Dawn. That's like the most generic cover I've ever seen for an action film. Two characters with guns drawn with an explosion in the background. You can't make this shit up, seriously. This is an insult to made up things, like this cover. It really is. Like, I don't really do, you know, I make thumbnails for my videos, but come on guys, like, I could have made a better poster for this movie. This is 2005, Steven Seagal. So it's like the beginning of like his descent into absolute insanity. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be good. The back is even worse. He's like crossing. Who holds guns like that? I'm sure if you went and got trained how to shoot guns, they'll tell you don't cross your arms. I'm sure that's not a way to hold guns. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. This film probably has the worst title, I think. Is it the worst title? I mean, Born to Raise Hell is pretty awful, but this is 2003. This is early 2000 Seagal, right? So this one's called Out for a Kill, which is an awful name for a film. Apparently they unearth a precious artifact in the ancient ruins of eastern China. The Chinese mafia have plans of their own. I guess it's like, maybe like a revenge film or something along those lines. Yeah, awful name, Steven Seagal. It's these films that I'm looking forward to checking out because they're going to be fucking dog shit. I can see it now, guys. Here we go. Actually a film I know, and I don't actually remember it that much, but I remember having it. I remember my dad having the VHS of this one. This is like, I guess it's like you would say cream of the crop Steven Seagal. Yeah, 1990. So cream of the crop Seagal, Marked for Death. Now I know this one. I don't remember much about it, but hopefully this one will be pretty good. I've not heard terrible things about this, but you know, a 90s action film. Very generic name. Quite a James Bond-esque poster there, front cover. But yeah, this one might be alright. We might be alright, that one. Now, I cannot wait to watch this one. Guys, this one's going to be amazing. This is 2008 Steven Seagal. And this one, I know it's going to be bad. It's going to be awful. It's a vampire movie with Steven Seagal. It's called Against the Dark. It's going to be bad, isn't it? He lives by the sword. They will die by it. It's even got an awful fucking tagline. This is sealed. Like, that's the great thing about charity shops, getting stuff for sealed. Especially for £1. You can't really complain, but this is why I wanted to get these, because I know I'm going to have just crazy, hilarious time with these movies, even though the majority of them are going to be bad. But yeah, what the fuck's up with his face there? What the shit? Wow, what is up with his face? Oh my god. I don't know, this film's going to be either hilariously bad or unwatchable bad. But yeah, who would have thought Steven Seagal in a fucking vampire movie? Who would have thought? Anyway, moving on. Now this is another good one. I think it's good, I can't remember. I think this is one, is this the film? This might be the film where Seagal kind of inserts his kind of Buddhist beliefs into the storyline. I think this is the film, I could be wrong. It's the old snapper case format, which I love. From 1997, Fire Down Below. This is another one that I recognise having on my shelf on video when my dad had it and stuff. So this might be a good one. Kind of like, you know, late 80s, kind of the majority of the 90s. Fairly okay Seagal movies. Next up is another good one. This is 1991, so it's like fairly early career that he's out for justice. Another good one, if I can remember correctly. I swear this is the film where he blows some guy's foot off and the guy barely kind of reacts. It's a bit weird. But yeah, this one could be pretty good, couldn't it? Next up is a sealed copy of probably his best movie, if you don't count Under Siege and Under Siege 2. And that is his first debuting film, Nico, or also known in America as Above the Law. Yeah, a decent you know, cop action movie for a debut film. I think this is the best he probably looks. He's probably the best in terms of, you can say his acting's all right, but the actual choreography, the fight choreography is probably the best in this film. I think he does some really cool choreography in terms of the fighting in this. So this is probably the best film in this stack, most likely. Next up, I've got a film. Disc is all loose now. I'll take disc out because this is loose. But I've not heard of this one. This is one I've definitely not heard of. It's called Ticker. It's an early 2000s one. It's 2001, I believe. Yep. Not heard nothing about this. He's on the front, but I don't think he's the main star of the film, because it sounds like you've got two detectives in this. You've got Dennis Hopper and you've got Tom Sizemore, and I do believe they're the main stars. But for some reason, you've got Seagal on the cover, so I'm hoping he's the main dude. There was another film in the church I didn't pick up because he's only in it for about 5 seconds. It was Executive Decision, you know, that film with Kurt Russell. Seagal's in that, but he's only in that for like 5 seconds, so I didn't bother picking that one up. But yeah, Ticker, have you seen that, guys? Early 2000s. This one could be alright. It's about a bomb, and he's like this bomb expert, and he can like defuse this bomb, so it could be a good little thriller, but you know, you never know with Seagal movies. They could be awful. Next one is a submarine movie, so it sounds like Die Hard and a sub, I suppose. This one is 2004 Seagal. It's Seagal, but it's also got Vinnie Jones in it, so I guess that bumps it up. I don't know. It's called Submerged because, of course, it is submarines. Very, very uninspired title. I'm basing my decisions on these films, guys, by the title and the cover. The cover is uninspired. Look at that. How boring is that cover? And the title is dull. It does sound like Die Hard on a sub, though. So maybe it'd be alright for just a silly kind of one man versus all kind of dumb movie. The final Seagal movie in this lot also has a terrible name. A cover that is just like everything's happening for some reason, and that is a 2005 film, Mercenary for Justice. And again, there's something wrong with his face. Like he's got no eyebrows. When you turn it this way, he definitely has eyebrows. I don't understand it, but yeah, Mercenary for Justice. It's time to fight again. All right, and this cover is just all kinds of just what the fuck. I mean, I could have just photoshopped explosions, helicopters, and the SWAT team, and him in the background quite easily. But yeah, that is the Charity Shop haul. Lots of Seagal titles. I mean, like, it's going to be a hoot and a holler.
I hope you guys can get that reference because it's quite a deep reference if you know early South Park. Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, Seagal, or Seagal, or Seagal, or whatever you want to call him. A guy that went from being a fairly promising action star with Nico and Under Siege and Hard to Kill. That's the title I wish I could have gotten. A guy that went from being promising to kind of a joke. He is actually kind of a farce now, which is a shame. But yeah, I got a massive stack of Seagal, some cool kind of horror titles as well. So not a bad haul today, I don't think. I think I had a good one. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, guys, I have been Jason, and I will be trying to marathon these Seagal movies. I know there's going to be some of these I don't want to watch, but I will. And I might do a review series. I might. Comment down below if you want to see a Steven Seagal movie review series on the channel, because that could be a lot of fun. Or it could be nightmarish.